Hey guys, thanks for watching all the UK vlogs so far. And this episode, Chiu Yu brought me to check out the project that might actually be my first UK investment unit. Very cool. But before that, just some things to clear up, right? In terms of land tenure, it's very different from Malaysia. All landed houses in UK are freehold, all high-rises are leasehold. Yeah, for Malaysians, right? Here, why so weird one? And because of that, there's this thing called ground rent, where the occupants that lives within the high-rise are required to pay a certain fee to the landlord every year. It's called ground rent. It used to be a thing until the government recently just changed the law. And by looking through the booking form, they use this term called peppercorn. Peppercorn means like zero, which is something very interesting that I felt like I need to share. Also another crucial thing, especially for those who are thinking about investing in UK, right? Management fees are collected annually, not monthly. So the amount is going to be a very big chunk. Anyway, enjoy the vlog. Right next to the highway will be the previous project by Renneker, and you just look into the slits at the facade, right? These just aged gracefully. So just for context, this is where I was when I was shooting that scene, as this is actually the new project site Chiu Yu actually brought me. So they were going to check the progress. We actually walked across this to check out the retail park here, which you can see later in the vlog. And just for context as well, this will be the ring road that we spoke about, right? In comparison to what we have within the city center on the previous episode, we can see that all the roads are smaller. You don't have very heavy cars, but on the ring road, it's very different. Whatever within this line that they call zone 1, this one, technically zone 1 borderline. So check it out. And looking based on their construction site and the delivery of materials, right? They apply a lot of prefab technology where they fabricate all the elements of buildings before sending into site. So they will do up modular toilets first before sending them into the site to be installed. That includes all the structural columns and beams. Then they come like Lego also, because I think the labor cost here is very high compared to what we have back in Malaysia. That results in a very clean construction site, also a very clean joint between elements, and that's one of the key findings after visiting a few projects around here.
Project by Renneker, I think, has been completed for about 7 years. The current rental right now for 1 bedroom, if I'm not wrong, is about 1,001, sitting at 1,001. But in 7 years ago, when these people bought it, the price was really way lower. So their rental yield is pretty awesome right now. So you can expect for maybe units that is closer to the other side, and newer with better amenities, should be able to fetch higher rental in future. Because this project right now, I think it only comes with a terrace garden.
Too cold already. So what she means? So what she almost flew away. So what she means is that because amenities is not part of the requirement set by the government to provide, older projects around here, they call schemes again, are usually just empty units only. There's a lobby, it goes to your corridor, then your unit, that's about it. Only now when we see the modern Deansgate projects, right, and the one that we saw yesterday, those comes with like swimming pool, those comes with like gym, co-working spaces, and it is attracting more youngsters, more working professionals, because they like the community living lifestyle compared to older folks who only want build up of their apartments, and that results in a difference in terms of rental demand. From one region, you have fast food joints here, but the locals say the fast food here suck. Then right opposite there, this will be a retail mall. This is called Region Retail Park. And why we are here? Because the project is actually walking distance away. And this project here we are talking about is like the next project that Chew Yi's team is going to launch soon. So me being sampat, fear of losing out. So figure out whether can this be my first UK property or not. But the main question here is, I absolutely see a lot of motivation for the Singaporeans to buy. Their country is just not promoting property investment as a whole. That's a whole agenda altogether. But as a Malaysian then, is it worth it? Another observation, compared to the city centre where practically it's just dominated by pedestrians and trams and buses, right? And bicycles as well. There are very little cars, but once you come out from zone 1, it's pretty dependent on cars to move around as well. But because of the weather, it's still very, very comfortable to walk around. And this will be like those big box kind of arrangement. It's the mall that is designed in a strip form, single story. Then you got retail after retail after retail after retail. This is the first petrol station that I see in 3 days. The very first petrol station. You have pharmacies, you have fast food, you have the gym, you have a cafe like Costa. Everything complete. It feels like a cheetah mall. And this is then interesting because if you have such an amenities around your project, do you then need to pay more of service charge, which is called maintenance fees service charge for the amenities that you don't need? It's a very interesting conversation, like, do you really want the amenities, or it's just a lifestyle thing that is good to have? But based on the rental rates that they have at Reneka, the demand for units is so high, right? Maybe it's just a fresh kid out of the block kind of thing. Which one would you choose then? Right after the retail park, walking out across McDonald's next to the river, this will be the brand new project. What's the name again?
It's Trinity Island is the land, but I think the project has a different name.
Now what you can see is the substructure works, and you can see they're doing all the precast moldings already. And the leveling is actually lower than the river. Then you can see all the foundation work, all the soil retention works. This is right next or in between the intersection. So I'm not too sure on the passing on how it will feel like, but it's really in between 3 elements: Manchester City, the river, and the neighbourhood convenience that it provides. Then if you need to go outside of Manchester City, easy lah. So again, this will be the project, and based on the architectural design, I think the access will come out from this local road. One turn away is Meaningfield already, which is the commercial area that we visited yesterday. So pretty convenient also. And we are now in between the entire master plan that is actually split by this road, right? That is the Inca River, and the land adjacent to the river will be in total the entire developable land. And that's the ring road that we speak about just now. So it's the main highways around Manchester City. Chew Yi is confused with which phase is the first one.
Yeah.
But I guess we can figure it out later. But based on the construction progress, the tower is there, so I think it should be the first one first, because to have a tower there is actually very expensive. Okay. And one thing though, to do site visit here in Manchester is just too cold. In Malaysia, it's all sweat and dusty. Here, very, very cold. But the sun is out, yes. But on this side, then you will have the train system, and that will also have certain level of noise. Then we kind of found like this kind of setting. It's like a low-rise apartment. They call it HMO, multiple occupancy house, where one door shares with 6 different owners, and in a landed terrace house kind of setting. These are the conventional housing patterns within Manchester itself until all the high-rise towers come out. So this one a bit more romantic, like we watch in the movies. Then you got land and all. And they also have something like a area for performance and public events or whatsoever. So cold, right? People still jogging on it. Wow. Anyway, there's a gym here. And looking around the city, All this while, plus the stats that the developers actually presented to us, right? The average age group for people here is like 30 years old. So that's the age where it's young couples with kids, no kids also okay. And these are the perfect age group that is in between home ownership and renting. Then in the midst of travelling from site to Old Trafford, right, throughout my head, there's been a few perspectives to the ownership process. Why aren't locals buying? Because coming from Malaysia, we have cooling measures, right? We have a foreigner cap where they cannot buy properties lower than 2 million. At least that protects the local interest. Imagine if foreigners can buy anything, right? Locals got no chance to buy anything anymore. Then by discussing with Chu Yi team as well, it's even worse in Singapore. Now they just impose a 60% extra stamp duty on any foreign purchase. Literally, you're buying like 80% to 85% in cash if you want to buy an apartment in Singapore. But then in UK, nope. Everyone is welcome to buy anything. So just by thinking and estimating the price of the apartment in Manchester, a 260,000 to 280,000 one-bedder apartment in Manchester Zone 1. Is it very, very expensive for locals? Because this discussion is also very interesting, where property will forever be expensive regardless of where we go. Malaysia ringgit 300,000 also got ma. But it's still expensive. Singapore, even worse. Then when I share this among my other social medias, right, like Instagram and Facebook, everyone still tells me the very high taxation rates, the very, very low income, the very, very tight financing. Suddenly I realized across different regions, the scenes are pretty similar, where we have people complaining about how expensive properties are, but we also have a bunch of investors who owns more than 5-10 properties in one location. So this has a lot to do with culture, where property ownership is a little bit more encouraged, or we are more obligated to own property within the Asian region side. Practically, it's almost impossible to imagine that we will be renting for life. But by speaking to locals there, even during the dinner with local developers, right, they are just very, very curious, like, why are you guys trying to own so many properties? One not enough, meh? And that really got me by surprise. Like, local property developers don't even believe in the concept of owning properties. They rather prioritize lifestyle, prioritize flexibility, prioritize other things instead of paying an installment for a property. Very, very interesting. Because for the same apartment that we just discussed just now, 260 to 280,000, right? The rent can go around 1,200, 1,300 per annum. And if you were to calculate the return on investment, it's actually not bad. Even when you translate everything into ringgit, right? A 260,000 apartment, maybe in Subang Jaya or Cheras, right? If it can generate me 1,400 rental, right? Immediately I will grab. But of course, that will always depend on the interest rate for your financing and the loan tenure, so how many years. But the most important thing I realized, right, throughout these struggles of decision making right now, whether to continue with the booking or not, is the very hefty down payment of 20%. So this is something that as a Malaysian I'm struggling, because it's not a norm for us to pay that much upfront for a property. So 26,000 times 20% is 52,000 pounds, and times that with the currency today is like 5.6. So it's a lot of money. Anyway, after the visit, we actually checked out Old Trafford, and the entire journey was a very eye-opening one. Literally, it's a dream that I do not deserve at all, because usually I don't watch football lah. So on the way now to Old Trafford, we can see a lot of police on the street. Look at it. I have 3 to 4 trucks, and a lot of people are chanting. Really football city leh.
What is happening, man?
Well, what a game. First 15 seconds already got a goal. So I guess it's very cool. It's a dream come true for a lot of people. I will try to appreciate it more, but got myself a souvenir. So I guess that's all for today's vlog. See you guys.